Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining me on this first Sunday of Father Jeff's vacation. Last year, you were spared the joy of having me stand up here to share my interpretation of the day's message. I actually joked with Randy about it, that we were spared, and here we are this year. I was called and I answered to stand here and spread the message to you on 2 occasions, today and again on the 26th with my friend Randy. I would like to speak to you today on my interpretation of the gospel. This generation. I guess I will recount my generation first. Carefree and uninhabited, fearless and wanting to try anything and everything. We wanted to conquer the world. I grew up in an age while being raised by a single parent, my mom, not my birth mother, with a sister and a large extended family that I got to see regularly, in an age where we were pushed out the door at every opportunity to play and enjoy ourselves. We were fortunate girls. We were shipped off to grandparents every summer, whether it was Winnipeg or Antigua. 2 months of freedom from parents and the routines of daily life with our primary caregiver, my mom and my aunt. Without rules of said single parenting, we were raised, disciplined, guided, and loved. I grew up in an age where we had to be vigilant as children. My sister and I were latchkey kids. My mother worked double shifts as a nurse, so we were mostly left to our own devices. Early on, we had our aunt taking care of us before she moved back to Antigua, and then we had a few nannies before getting to an age where we could take care of ourselves. As I remember, this was the start of me being aware that children were being snatched off the streets and murdered. It was an age where we wanted to spread our wings, show that we were deserving of the freedom of growing up, of earning said independence. We had a curfew to adhere to, we had chores to do on a weekly basis, and we had responsibilities. And there were expectations of us. We had to help out around the house. We didn't talk back. If you did, there were consequences. Either you were grounded or you were spanked. We were seen and not heard. And I think, all in all, I've turned out to be a decent human being, a somewhat productive member of society. I have been blessed indeed. My need or wanting to belong, to be loved, to be needed, awakened the need to be a mother, and I became a single mom at the age of 21. My firstborn became my family's first. He was the first grandchild, and he was spoiled and loved by all. I was blessed a few years later with my daughter, and she was also a first, the first girl in a family of boys for the great-grands. By the time I had my 3rd child, I got married and I started to build a life for myself with my husband, and hoping that the values instilled in me as a child were enough to guide me on this path. I hoped that I was equipped enough to guide and nurture my children in a world that was fast changing and ever evolving. I tried to be a hands-on parent and engaged in all aspects of my children's daily life. I tried to let them know that I was and will always be their safe space. As many of you know, I have had some rough patches over the years. There have been illnesses, deaths, job loss, heartbreak, and a feeling of loss along the way. I have found my strength in sitting here among you week after week. In the beginning, silently, and over the years, increasing my involvement here in church. I still battle to stay afloat every day. I give thanks to God for all that I have, for where I have been and where I am still to tread. I serve an awesome God, and He has put some wonderful people in my life. Now, for this generation. This might seem a little judgmental, and I am just showing my age now. But this generation is still to impress me. The critical thinking and the lack of empathy or compassion is disheartening. I wish that we did not have this age of technology where everything was at your fingertips. I would like to go back to an age where children went outside to play, ride bikes, got lost in doing childish things, and coming home when the street lights came on. I believe that this generation, if wanting, can learn a lot from the generations past so that they do not make the same mistakes as us. I have tried in my own home to encourage my children to build friendships, make mistakes so that they can learn from them, let them know that they are loved and that I will always be there to guide them and steer them in the right direction, if that is what they wish. We might not always agree, most of the time not, on things, but I have said in the past, I wish that every time they leave the house, they hear my voice in the back of their head. That quiet voice that will guide them along, the one that they can draw on in times of need. I have prayed for their safety, not knowing what they will face once out of sight. My youngest has unfortunately been privy to things that no child should have to deal with because of someone else's bad decision. I have encouraged him to lean on his family for support and hope that each day he grows stronger because of the things he has had to experience. My middle child is trying to find herself and spread her wings, and if it is at this time that we drift apart, my love for her is never failing. I pray for her health, her safety, and hope that she finds what she is searching for. This change, like the one a few years ago, I said, might not have been the right way, but it is the right time. And hopefully I can take this opportunity to finally be selfish and choose me. I know that I've done the best that I could and hope that I have made an impact in their life, in their growth, and pray that one day, like me, they turn back to the foundation instilled in them and return to the church for guidance and support. I will continue to pray without ceasing for that. This generation is the one that we as elders are going to have to depend on to take care of us, to heal us, to make sure that we are okay. When I worked at the hospital, I remember one of the physicians, each time a new rotation of residents came in, would grab my elbow and say, "Tessa, we have a good group here," or "Tessa, I don't know about this one," our little joke. I am saddened by his passing, of not being in the role that I spent so many years in, but grateful for the friendships that I formed along the way and the amazing people that I got to meet and to share their journey. I feel a bit like Father Jeff now, rambling on and not on topic. I will close by saying that every generation can learn a little from the one before and most definitely bring us into an age where we need to be in terms of growth and advancement. I would like for us and them to find common ground. I'd like for them to hold their elders up with respect, to know that when they are spoken to, it is because we care, because we have already been there. We see where they are heading, and we want to spare them the pain and disappointment of certain actions. I guess my aunt said, you cannot tell anyone what to do. They must experience it for themselves, and as the old people would say, who don't hear will feel. A little West Indian there for you. Thank you for being part of my journey of faith, for your quiet support, your smiles, your hugs, the conversations when I am not making a beeline for the door. I thank you. It has been an awesome journey with you here, and I hope that I am able to continue my faith walk with you. God bless.